Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price this Saturday, as it's the first official weekend of 2023, which means the cryptocurrency market is the most manipulated, a lot to potentially expect. And guess what? The S&P 500 closed out the first trading week of 2023 with green across the board, meaning that the sentiment coming into this weekend is bullish for the cryptocurrency market. What does that mean for Bitcoin's price? Let's dive straight into the chart, Snipers, because we know 17,200 is the real major level. A lot of people are talking about 17,000, but we know 17,200 is the key resistance for Bitcoin right now. If Bitcoin were to just copy the S&P 500 into this weekend, we could potentially expect a test of 17,200, because you can see the S&P 500 decided to close out the week up over 2%, forming a higher high, which Bitcoin has yet to do. We have not formed a higher high yet. You can see here, the initial high has yet to be taken out. If we were to form a higher high, it would be Bitcoin testing 17,204. The range that we're in right now, with the previous weekly open at 16,800 is our major support. And then at $17,200 level, once again, is where we're going to start to see momentum and volume coming for Bitcoin. It is very possible that this could happen this weekend because the sentiment is extremely bullish, with S&P 500 closing the week off, the first trading week of 2023, up over 2%. So 17,200 is what we're watching, and we do not want to come below 16,800. Is it time to be entering into long positions? Well, when it comes to spot, I do believe right now is the time to dollar cost average into Bitcoin. It doesn't mean that we have bottomed out. As I mentioned yesterday, we could potentially see lower prices later in this year, but that doesn't mean that in the next few weeks or the next few months, we're not going to see Bitcoin potentially come back towards 20,000, test 24,000 potentially. All of that starts at 17,204. That's what we're monitoring for Bitcoin right now. I do want to mention this as well, Snipers. Remember what we talked about when it comes to Ethereum testing a major bear market resistance. We are actually breaking out from this resistance level right now, and it shows confluence with 1277. So 1277 for Ethereum is very similar to 17,200 for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks 17,200, Ethereum will break 1277. And what that would put Ethereum at is in a position to come back towards the 2018 previous all-time high at 1440 and potentially open up the door to 1760, with Ethereum currently trading at 1264. A break above 1,277, that's the major resistance, opens up that door for potential upside, and it's quite a bit of upside here. If we look at Ethereum's potential upside breaking 1277, we're also talking about over 35% upside there. And so that's what we're currently monitoring. Volume is still quite low. The DXY is still calm. It's still potentially selling off right now, being below its 20-week moving average. We know what we're watching here. Now, we do want to be a little bit careful because the DXY is at a major support. So could we potentially bounce from here? That is on the table coming into next week. That's what we're going to be monitoring. But once again, the S&P 500 closed out the week up over 2%. You can see clearly above its 20-week moving average. And we had sort of a bullish weekly candle close. If Bitcoin were to just get above its 20-week moving average, just like the S&P 500 is doing, that puts Bitcoin in the position to test 20,000 US dollars. You can see getting above that 20-week moving average, it's right around 19,000 right now, puts Bitcoin in a very strong position to test this area of interest that I have here, where we have a lot of confluence there with the 2018 previous all-time high, the 20-week moving average, and that resistance level from the current market structure that Bitcoin is trading in. Other than that, the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is strong above its 20-week moving average. It's the most similar to the S&P 500 because Bitcoin against the US dollar isn't above its 20-week moving average, but Ethereum against Bitcoin is. So the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is more closely correlated to the S&P 500 right now, which isn't a bad thing because that means the risk on environment in the cryptocurrency market is still active and healthy, with the Ethereum to Bitcoin pairing showing strength. Gold has been moving up quite heavily throughout the last few weeks. We want to continue to monitor gold, currently sitting at 1866. It shows that institutional capital is certainly looking for a hedge right now, whether that's against the inflation, whether that's against the US dollar, other international currencies. There's obviously a demand right now for a hedge if gold is doing so well. And so why wouldn't Bitcoin also fall into that bucket, being the top performing asset since the pandemic crash? let's see what happens, snipers. For your Saturday update, I appreciate each and every one of you tuned into this channel. Let's look at some other revolving parts before I wrap up this video. The Euro 100 also closing the week strong, up 1%. You can see a lot of the big tech stocks close the week strong. Amazon up over 3%, MicroStrategy up over 2%, Tesla up over 2%. And so very strong close to the week. A very nice close to the week, to say the least, with the S&P 500 up over 2%. So a pretty strong bullish bias this weekend. Let's see what happens, snipers. Thank you all for tuning into the channel this Saturday. I'm wishing you guys the best health and the best time in this cryptocurrency market. I couldn't do this without you. I appreciate and love each and every one of you snipers tuned in the channel. I will see you guys next time, as always. 17,204 is what we're watching. Until next time, snipers.